You need a drink, too, my boy. The two men sat down facing each other and talked, that is to say, Dinak talked. Camberton merely listened and watched his guest down one drink after another from the whiskey bottle which the lawyer had placed on a convenient magazine table. Camberton, at the same time, simulated just the proper degree of sympathetic understanding. He was adept at it. It was in this way that he came to know so many things which necessitated such undercover equipment as the secret telephone. Dinak, the hunted, seemed eager to unburden himself to the attorney. For all his bulk and reputation as a hard hombre, he was plainly frightened. He had achieved too much notoriety for his peace of mind. Having lived by the gun, he apparently feared death by the gun. Every man's hand was against him. He poured himself yet another drink and said, I met Horton in Minneapolis, about 6 months ago. He joined my gang and we did several jobs, payroll raids in St. Louis. The last one there wasn't so good. 3 of my boys were killed. I remember reading about that, remarked Camberton, but I didn't know that Horton was there or you either. Nobody knows it, now. Horton and the other 2 were killed this morning. The bandit licked his lips. I almost went along but I had a hunch. Besides, why should I take any chances when I've got more than $100,000 salted away? Part of it was Horton's. But he's dead and the rest of the mob that ain't dead is in jail. So there's nobody left to split with except in you. How much will it cost me to get out of the country? Camberton's porcine eyes narrowed as he looked at his visitor. Was it really possible for such a hulking lout to retain so much loot? Would he give up half, 3/4 of it to save his skin? The attorney was confident that both questions could be answered in the affirmative. It'll be a hard job, he said. Your picture, given to the police by that dame you ditched, is being printed so often, nowadays, that your face is as well known as Babe Ruth's. Your mug and description are posted in every police chief's office, in every detective bureau and agency in the country and in every post office. That's just it. Even people who only look like me are getting arrested and shot at. Cried Dinak. What chance have I got? A good chance, said Camberton, watching his client closely. But, as I said, it'll be a hard job and expensive. There will be certain preliminary costs. First of all, I'd have to hire someone to do a little plastic surgery on that well-known face of yours. Then too, I'd have to pay for fixing aids along the route you're to take and... Hell, exclaimed Dinak, if you're worried about my being able to pay, here's $25,000 for a starter. He reached into his breast pocket and tossed a packet of greenbacks into the attorney's lap. And remember, there's more than $100,000 where that came from. It's all safe and snug under the floor of the Ideal Shoe Repair Shop, just a few blocks from here. He hiccuped. Then, loosening his tongue with another drink of whiskey, he rambled on, yeah, I own the Ideal Shoe Repair Shop. The old shoemaker who's supposed to own it is just a stooge for me. He learned cobbling in the penitentiary. Does he know the money's there? Ha, not much. Old Fred Miller's too dumb to ever know anything important. All he knows is that I sometimes used the joint for business meetings with Horton and the boys. I always sent Miller out with enough money to get drunk on. Other times he sleeps there. I chased him out tonight, figuring that me and you might take a walk over there after a while and settle our deal. Mere slits now, the criminal lawyer's greedy eyes flashed from the money to Dinak. Camberton thought fast. How much money would it be worth to risk disbarment, perhaps prison, if anything went wrong in smuggling his client out of the United States? The problem caused a frown to crease his round, bland face. Like a flash, an easy solution suggested itself. He leered sinisterly at Dinak. Startled, the fugitive reached for his gun, but the lawyer, with a speed surprising in one so fat and flabby, whipped out his own pistol and fired before the other could take aim. Public enemy number 1 toppled from the chair, a bullet in his head. With a deep breath of satisfaction, inhaling a whiff of gunpowder smoke, Camberton noted that his victim's lifeless hand still held a revolver. It would make the story of self-defense more dramatic. He arose, hurriedly put the packet of greenbacks in the wall safe, leaving the door open, cleared away the whiskey and glasses, and then picked up the telephone, the one connected with the hotel switchboard. Send for the police, he said calmly. I've just shot a burglar. He looks like Tony Dinak. Police officers, reporters, and hotel employees crowding into the suite a few moments later heard his thrilling narrative of how, upon returning from a stroll, he had caught Dinak in the act of ransacking the wall safe.